We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. 233 years ago, 8 days ago, when I was supposed to originally give this BBC, the delegates to the Constitutional Convention completed and signed the United States Constitution. This is a document that this country is founded on. It was an experiment at the time. Since that time, it has been amended 27 times. Most of those amendments were in order to define exactly who we, the people, are. The very first objective of the preamble to the Constitution is to establish justice. After 233 years, you would think that we've figured it out by now. But looking at what's going on in the country right now, we can see that it still needs work. But we, the people, are attempting to right the inequality that exists in our system. We see this in the news every day. Now, these protests are a good thing when it's done nonviolently. People like Shakyamuni Buddha, Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, and others have shown us their way. And you don't do it with a gun. I mean, what is that, you know? Constitution doesn't give you the opportunity to say to yourself, there's a black man standing there, and I'm afraid, so I'm going to go ahead and shoot him. Nor does promote the general welfare give police or anyone else a green light to kill. We, the people, must speak out and let those in power know how dissatisfied we are with the way things are going. Right now, only humans are able to vote, which is probably the way it should be for now. But it's going to change because that's the nature of everything. Everything in cyclic existence has three characteristics. If we think about these three characteristics of all the things in cyclic existence, it helps us to better understand our present situation and our potential. So what are these three things? Everything is impermanent, unsatisfactory, and selfless. Impermanent, or transient. Everything in our world, people, objects, reputation, presidents, etc., are transient and changeable by their very nature, even Supreme Court justices. Our refusal to accept this reality causes us pain. Unsatisfactory. Not everything is 100% wonderful in our lives. Just look at the news any day and you'll see this to be true. As sentient beings, we experience pain and suffering, both physical and mental. We experience happy situations that are unsatisfactory because they are actually no more than a temporary reduction of suffering, what Venerable Thubten calls low-grade happiness. Happy situations change and disappear. Then there's, of course, the unsatisfactory situation of having a body that ages, gets sick, and dies, and a mind that's under the control of afflictions and karma. And the third one is selflessness. And think about this. All these seemingly solid and independent things, ourselves and other phenomena, are without inherent findable existence. If we understand this, it counteracts ignorance, which is keeping us in these unsatisfactory conditions. If we understand this, we eliminate the root cause of all the pain and suffering experiences, not only of this life, but of all our lives in cyclic existence. Now, what does all this mean? It means we don't have to experience suffering if we don't want to. Because everything is impermanent and selfless, everything changes. The only constant in life is change. Heraclitus said this in 500 BCE. That's a long time ago, people. Because change will happen, we need to pay attention to where we're going, why we're doing it, and what we're doing, or we will end up someplace that we don't want to be. Just look around. This applies to our own life and our country. Let's go back to the Constitution. The Constitution is a document that needs to be protected from without and from within. And when I see people trying to do an end run around the Constitution, it makes me nervous. and it should make you nervous. Let's look at what's going on. They're trying to end the census 1 month early. Now that's 4 out of 10 households that still have not been counted. Now these people are usually the hard to reach people who are the ones who usually benefit the most from this census. Reclassifying peaceful demonstrations as riots and sending in unidentifiable people to maintain order. That's unacceptable. Denying people the opportunity to vote and to vote safely during the pandemic is taking away we the people's right to make the change that we want to see happen in this world. Withholding vital information to combat an epidemic is inexcusable, especially when it results in the deaths of over 200,000 Americans. That's over 10% of the people who have died worldwide. Doesn't sound like promoting the general welfare to me. And the latest, not committing to a peaceful transfer of power if one loses an election. That's scary, people, and totally against what the people who wrote this Constitution had in mind. Now, bodhisattvas look for problems and rejoice when they have an opportunity to help others. As bodhisattvas in training, we should be doing the same thing. Are you? Even Star Trek got involved with the Constitution. When Captain Kirk was explaining the Constitution to Cloud William, he said, "Wherever we have gone, no words have said this thing of importance in quite this way. Look at these 3 words, written larger than the rest with a special pride, never written before or since. Tall words proudly saying, 'We the people.' It was not written for kings or for warriors or for the rich or for the powerful, but for all the people. These words and the words that follow must apply to everyone, or they mean nothing." Buddhism tells us that all sentient beings have the opportunity to become awakened. It also tells us that all sentient beings want happiness and its causes and want to be free of suffering and its causes. But it doesn't just happen. It takes work. Captain Kirk said, liberty and freedom have to be more than just words. It takes action. But what type of action? Well, the calm heart and a clear mind, we need to use the power that this Constitution gives us to change the world and our lives. We need to vote and to make sure others are given the same opportunity. If we allow the state of affairs in this country to continue, then we have only ourselves to blame for the consequences. We will be denying ourselves the opportunity to secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity. In Buddhism's case, our posterity means ourselves in a future life. We, the people, have the right, we have the obligation to stand up and be counted. And we need to support the people who are using this opportunity right now to shout out and be heard. If you stay silent, no one will hear you, and nothing will change for the better. I'm told to tell everybody that I am a retired Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy.
Me to my question, because I know you were in the military for 20 years, and in the military they stress the Constitution a lot, and I just wondered if you would talk about that a little bit from the perspective of someone who was in the military, like how that is held and what it was like, because I always hear about this, but I haven't had any experience with it.
When I took an oath, very first time, I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That was what I swore an oath to. I didn't swear an oath to the president. I didn't swear an oath to the Congress. I swore an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States of America. That's what everyone in the military swears to. And we do the best we can.